so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
You're talking about going into next year, your fourth coach in 4 years. And if you think about it, they were 2-0 NBA Finals, and literally the whole organization just fell off.
I don't really understand what the plan is, right? Like, okay, you fire Budenholzer. What is the plan? Who do you think you're bringing in? What do you think is going to change? We all know the sort of dire financial situation they find themselves in as far as money spent.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
11 times now without a major, 14 times at the Masters. He finally has the green jacket. Rory McIlroy.
The best sporting event so far this year. It's better than the Super Bowl. It was better than the NCAA tournament. It had ups and downs. It had roller coaster rides. It had history, legacies. It had everything you could ever possibly want.
Pharrell, Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on
Game Time Decisions is live on a Tuesday night. Kevin Walsh with you for the next 2 hours as we get set for a 3-pack of NBA playoff action, a 4-pack of NHL playoff action, full Major League Baseball board, and another reminder that it is draft week. The odds consistently shifting, and some movement involving the most notable players in this draft. We're talking Ashton Genty. We're talking Shedeur Sanders, the big names. A lot of conversations swirling around them. We will get to all of that here tonight. The big game on the NHL slate has to be game number 1 of Tampa Bay and Florida. The defending champs take the ice for the first time here on a Tuesday with 3 game 2s surrounding it. In the NBA tonight, it is all game number 2s with the Lakers late night in Minnesota feeling like a must-win. OKC and Memphis feeling like a must-cover if you are the Grizzlies. Just show a little bit of fight. And where we begin our show on this Tuesday, Indiana and Milwaukee. Damian Lillard returns, which is, from when the Lillard stuff all broke, a true stunner. Now, Damian Lillard did not twist an ankle, pull a hamstring. It was blood clots. It was seemingly scary. And that can cost you a lot of time, potentially. There's a world where Lillard could have been out the first half of next season, all depending on what happened. Thankfully and wonderfully, Dame is back. Things have worked out. Things have broke correctly. So Lillard hits the court here on this Tuesday. And it becomes very interesting because Dame hasn't played in a while. What's that ramp up like? You know, Milwaukee down 0-1 in the series, opt not to slow play it here if he's ready to go, and then go. The books with maybe some hesitation on their Dame numbers, certainly not a full he is back type of situation. The latest numbers around Damian Lillard, points prop is 17.5. With his made threes number right now for 3 of them to be made, checks in at minus 115. I think that Damian Lillard, relative at least to some of these numbers, will be ready to go. Lillard is, I think sometimes he gets maybe given a little bit too much credit for what he is as a postseason performer, but he will step up. He absolutely will. He'll be ready for the moment, and he played this Milwaukee team last year. He scored 30-plus in the first 2 games, at least 28 in every single one of the 4 that he played. But he only played in 4. None of those games he played alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo. He wasn't healthy for 2 of those 3 games, quite frankly. Is Dame ready to go tonight? I think, yes, I think he could be fantastic. I really do. I think it's absolutely on the board that Lillard goes out there, lights up the opening quarter. But we don't know 100% what the minutes will be. So I was wondering if there's another way I could bet on Lillard, but maybe add a safety net. And that is my favorite wager tonight in the DraftKings head-to-head player props market for this game. Damian Lillard and Tyrese Halliburton to combine for over 5.5 made threes, a -105 price. I absolutely love this opportunity as Halliburton, who was the favorite to lead this series in made threes, by the way, leaves game number 1 still looking for his first made triple. His first made triple. 0 of 7 in the opener, 3 of 13 from the field. That type of performance, scoring the basketball, is why Tyrese Halliburton seemingly is a divisive player. I saw a poll voted on by players view Halliburton as the most overrated player in the league. Incredibly, a pro Halliburton guy, I view Tyrese to be quite underrated. I think Halliburton being left off All-NBA entirely, which is the case for some voters, is unforgivable and unjustifiable. They are once again a 50-win basketball team led by their offense, which is led by Halliburton. And while he did not score it great, his 12 assists and his facilitating and the pace at which this team plays at, it is dictated by Tyrese. Those up and down games, though, in the postseason were a common occurrence. Occasionally, not just off shooting nights, but not enough shooting nights. You look back to game number 1 against Milwaukee, when it only attempted 7 shots. I think you'll see an uptick in volume for Halliburton, and I certainly think you'll see an uptick in efficiency, which should set up a very nice situation here for Halliburton and Lillard. I think one of these guys hitting 5 made threes is absolutely in play. You're going to need just one more from the other. I really like over 5.5 made threes combined. The star of this game is, of course, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, after game number 1, 36 points, 12 rebounds, 61% shooting. If you wanted to attack the free throw shooting, you could, but you probably won't. And that's fine. The most telling number off of game number 1 was the 1 assist. Giannis averaging the triple-double in the month of April, 12 assists a game. He was doing it all. And he needed to do a little bit more with Lillard absent. The thing for Giannis now with Dame coming back is it's not, I don't think, going to lessen the workload. The books aren't, again, giving you Damian Lillard at 25.5, 26.5 points. So I actually think you're getting a bit of a Giannis discount in some areas, specifically his rebounds plus assists. That number was 20.5 in a lot of spots heading into game number 1, down to 18.5 tonight. Giannis still should be absolutely dominant on the glass in this game. Anywhere from 12 to 15 rebounds does not surprise. Don't be surprised, though, if Giannis Antetokounmpo ups that assist total and flirts with the triple-double in this game. Giannis for a triple-double tonight checks in at around plus 600. Numbers, of course, vary from book to book. I am on Giannis over the 18.5 rebounds plus assists. Again, the thing for me in this game, and really within this series, is we now get to see Giannis and Damian Lillard together in the postseason for the first time. Is it the final time? I think it's fascinating. I think the fact that we're going to get the answer of what does this look like? Does it work? How close is it to getting this team where they want to be? That's what we're going to find out. Because if Tyrese Halliburton is the most overrated player in the NBA, which, again, apparently some think, I disagree. But if that's the case, there's no one else out there flirting with an all-star appearance. Everyone likes Pascal Siakam, but that's not the case. Miles Turner, Andrew Nembhard, Benny Math. Quite frankly, Giannis now getting Lillard. If this duo is as good as they believe they are, if this Pacers team is what others think, well, the Bucks should then have enough. We find out that answer. Doesn't mean they have to win tonight. Can't get swept. Can't lose in 5. You could argue can't lose. Shouldn't be losing in round 1 with Giannis Antetokounmpo and now with Damian Lillard back. We're going to find out, and I look forward to it. I attacked this game with Lillard and Halliburton over 5.5 combined made threes and over 18.5 rebounds and assists. For Giannis, we go to Memphis, OKC, Minnesota, and LA. Next, it is Game Time Decisions.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Pages. Let's get lucky.
Right here in the mix with you on Game Time Decisions. We will talk a little NHL, Major League Baseball in just a couple of moments, but I want to go through game number 2 with Oklahoma City and Memphis, as well as, of course, the LA Lakers and their matchup with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll start with the big spread, which is OKC and Memphis. Memphis really the only team who lost game 1 that did not see the spread move in their favor, and that is because they lost by 51 points. So, in a way, the 14.5, which is a dropping number from 16 to down to 15 and 15.5, now at 14.5, is still, you're seeing a tax, if you will, for a team being down 0-1 in the series. I am tempted by Memphis, but I am not ready to bet it because OKC is the best at blowing teams out in the history of basketball. They have the highest margin of victory, point differential in the history in a single season. So OKC, when they're going to win a game, which everybody thinks, I'm not desperate to run and grab these points. I thought I was at 16. I know you're going to say, is that really going to make the difference? I just feel I want every single point imaginable. I know I don't have that at my side. The question now for this series is, will it be a sweep? Minus 115 looks to be the best number you can get on that sweep. Not a bad price to pay. The fascinating thing was just trying to take, in recent NBA history, what happens when a team wins by 40 or more last 10 years. The last time someone won by 50 or more was the Chicago Bulls. It was in a Game 7, 2015, against the Milwaukee Bucks. That doesn't help us a ton. The Cavs and Warriors did it during those, every year they're playing each other in the finals. Both actually happened in the conference finals. So they both lost the next game. It makes the blowouts 10 times more impressive, but it also shows you it wasn't a 1-8 high-level mismatch, right? Like this is with OKC and Memphis. The Clippers did it to Dallas in the bubble, round 1. The problem was there was like a 4 or 5 day gap in between Game 6, or what was Game 5 and Game 6, where Clippers won pretty handedly. It's just odd. It's hard to pull that back in. The Lakers did it the year they made the conference finals very recently in round number 1 against Memphis. But again, a closeout Game 7 doesn't help a ton. And the Timberwolves did do it last year. Game 6 against the Nuggets, they go on and win game number 7 on the road. I say all of that to give you a history lesson. I don't know if it helps us a ton tonight. And it redirected me a little bit more so than into the prop markets and some angles that I really liked. First one, maybe an obvious one, but it's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Over 10.5 first quarter points, plus 102 price. SGA, the best scorer in basketball this season, had probably his worst scoring performance of the entire season, which is incredible when you consider the absolute domination that it was. SGA, the last time he scored under 20 points this year, was in the 4th game of the season against San Antonio. 18 points on 7 of 20 shooting, 2 of 10 from 3. SGA, quite frankly, going out there tonight and bouncing back makes sense. The follow-up game, albeit, again, Game 5, not the best example. He did go over the 10.5 in the next game's first quarter. SGA averaged around 10.5 in the first quarter. I think he's going to be on it from the word go. I'd like SGA early over the 10.5 first quarter points at a plus price. I also like Jaren Jackson Jr. on the Memphis side. If you're in on Ja, if you're in on Desmond Bane, I see all of the legitimate arguments. Jaren Jackson sticks out to me because a lot of it is efficiency bounce back. That's obvious. But it's also the way in which he struggled felt the most notable, where Jaren Jackson Jr. was being given the ball in the low post against the Alex Carusos and struggling to make anything of those possessions. Look, Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a bruising big, right? He's not a throwback 90s NBA center. But Jaren Jackson Jr. has to be able to do something when he has a 5-inch advantage on the guy guarding him. And I think Jaren Jackson Jr. will be much better in this basketball game. Can't be any worse. 2 of 13, 0 of 4 from 3, 4 points in game number 1. I like Jaren Jackson Jr. to bounce back. Give me his over 18.5 points tonight. LA and Minnesota. Again, if you were with us on the Saturday NBA playoff preview show, maybe you bet Minnesota the series double. Minnesota game 1, Lakers to win the series. You're holding LA to win the series at 5-1. Can't ask for much more than that. Now you need the Lakers to win the game. And I think they will. I think Minnesota could be scary. A lot of this is going to depend on the Lakers. I really love the over in game number 1. I was on my way until I wasn't. Lakers hit a dip in the 4th quarter that cost that total the life it at one point had. I'm going back to the Lakers on offense tonight, specifically going over the 107.5 team total. Big dropping number from where it was in game number 1. The Lakers, for the first time with Luka Doncic on their roster, okay, went sub 100 points. That's crazy. That's just wild. Or with Luka Doncic in the lineup, I should say. They average over 116 points per game with Luka as a Laker. And that includes games without LeBron, when he was first getting there, working through the rust. I think the Lakers' offense tonight 100% will be better. I think one of the most interesting things to watch in this game by far is Rudy Gobert. When setting this series up, I felt that the most dangerous thing that Minnesota could do was try and small ball it, all shooters. Well, shout out me. Nailed it. 21 of 42. Naz Reid hit 6 threes. You don't get a ton of Rudy Gobert. That's what Minnesota did, and it was dangerous. That, though, repeating at any point in this series is not going to happen. It was a franchise record for made threes in a playoff game. It happening in consecutive games? Come on. In consecutive games on the road? All right, cut it out. It's not going to happen. I just wonder if Minnesota, who did not play a lot of Rudy Gobert in that game, which I still think was a big product of foul trouble, at least initially, will look to get Rudy going some. Rudy Gobert, I don't think, scored in the opening half. I played his over points. Bad bet. I'm going to do it again. Give me over 9.5. Dropping number. 11.5 in game number 1. Give me over 9.5 points tonight for Rudy Gobert. I still think Minnesota, even if they're not going to play him 35 minutes a game and just 25 minutes a game, will not want to exile what is supposed to be their second best player. Time will tell. We'll do a little NHL playoffs, a little Major League Baseball. Yanks already on the board. We'll talk about that now.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back to the right here, and it is game time decisions. The NHL slate already underway. Shout out to the Devils, up 1-0 on Carolina. Hurricanes a huge favorite in this series. So let me get you the live updated spread. Carolina is still the favorite, minus 136 on that money line. Total sitting right now at 5.5. So what would that be a Devils team total live at right now? 2.5 minus 145 with a goal already on the board. That's tempting to me. I don't know. You think they're done scoring? That's interesting. Something to keep your eyes on, certainly. Toronto and Ottawa go at it in game number 2. Ottawa, a decent dog, pretty big dog for Minnesota. Home team took game number 1 in both of those series. I think tonight with Tampa Bay and Florida, that's one of the big ones. You get the defending champs to go out there. They are series favorites heading into this one, but not massively. And that will flip if Tampa holds in game 1, and they are favored to. So I think that's one of the most interesting things. And this is how the Stanley Cup odds are. They're very condensed. They're very tight at the top. And it just doesn't take a ton to flip things, right? Yesterday, you had some great games. You had overtime in 3 of 4 games. Ovi scores twice, including the game winner. Dallas gets the win against Colorado to level that series. Edmonton with an unreal comeback against the Kings. They were down in that game 4-0, 4-1 heading into the third period. They tied it up with under 2 minutes to go on a Connor McDavid goal. I think he had 3 assists and a goal in that game. Didn't finish as one of the top 3 stars. Yeah, okay. But he does not. But ultimately, that game ended it didn't go to overtime. That game ended in regulation, which was just totally bananas. A great game there. I think Edmonton maybe being written off a little bit too much by some, but I think it's certainly something that we can keep our eye on. Major League Baseball, 1 game is live right now. That is Yankees-Guardians. I have a home run prop in this game. Jason Dominguez. Don't be scared to root that on. Don't be scared to root that home. We can use Jason Dominguez here. Now, I believe we got some crew picks for you guys as well. If you are still celebrating Dinger Tuesday without the excellence that was last year's promotion, you can still certainly find a number of boosts when it comes to the home run board. Do we have, team in the back, the home run selection for our squad? Let's see if we can get this up for the people here, because they're going to want some juice. We're going to want to identify who's got what. Where can we root on? Wow, there's some interesting picks here. So they just came across my desk. Casino Chris goes to an old friend. Josh Naylor, late night, Arizona, Tampa Bay. Every Josh Naylor home run goes 600 feet. That feels like the appropriate take. 4 on the season. Can he make it 5 tonight? Time will tell. Our guy Sam, let's call it what it is, noted Nats fan, goes to a Washington National. Is that bias, or is he seeing it clearly? We'll find out. It's going to be James Wood, plus 430, 7 home runs this season for James Wood. Batting leadoff, Kyle Schwarber style, despite a 232 batting average at this point. I think the idea is eventually that will turn around. The Nats, prospect crazy type of team. James Wood, Dylan Cruz, buzz, a combined batting average, which is hardly creeping over 200. We'll see if the youngsters can start to pull it together. And then you go to the game between Houston and Toronto. A lot of buzz for the start that Chris Bassett has had this season. But batting in the 9-hole, it's Cam Smith, the youngster. We're going to get a Cam Smith home run ticket, put him on the board. Cam Smith already has a 2 home run game this season. Could be due to put his 4th total up there. Checks in at a plus 520 price. So if you want some home run props, I know Dominguez is live right now. He should be coming up this inning for the Yankees. Josh Naylor on Arizona. James Wood on Washington. And then Cam Smith on Houston. The Major League Baseball board tonight features a few interesting spots. I am still, and this has been going on since Detroit pummeled the White Sox in what was their 3rd series of the season, where all of a sudden you look at the numbers on Detroit, and there you can see everyone's home run pick. You look at Detroit, and they are priced as I feel, one of the best teams in baseball. Flaherty, Pivetta, they just beat the Padres, who they were favored against. Favorites again for Detroit. Not saying they shouldn't be, but when you looked, we talked a lot. I know our crew, those American League odds, Detroit 9-1. I wonder how long they stay behind a team like, say, the Boston Red Sox. I think we'll find out. We'll talk to Coach next. You're right here on SportsGrid.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're live right here on SportsGrid. And interesting, just trying to follow along. It is draft week, okay? And the news is pouring out. And I just came across a mock draft. I want to give credit here, okay? John Sheeran, at John, it looks like _ Sheeran on Twitter. And he's adamant Cincinnati will select Walter Nolan as long as he's on the board. So, -170 D-line, first pick for Cincinnati. I don't see Walter Nolan, over-unders. He's -900 to be a first-round pick. That's not giving us the best, but it's something, right? And that's what we're always trying to find. Do we eventually get odds for a top 20 pick, right? Do we get a bigger menu by Thursday and we get a Walter Nolan over-under? Maybe. Something to keep your eyes on, though, okay? And we're going to continue to keep our eyes and talk through the NFL draft. I've locked in some bets. I want to reset where I'm at with you on this Tuesday. We'll do that in just a little bit. But I do want to get coaching here and just kind of rapid fire through these 3 games tonight because, look, it's NBA playoffs and you should be able to hear from Coach James Young on a busy Thursday like this. So, JY, we appreciate you making some time, man. Let's just get right to it. Pacers, Bucks. Dame is back. Where are you at on this one?
Sounds like a panic play by Milwaukee, right? He just basically got cleared off the blood thinners. Listen, I coached during COVID, K-Dub, and it takes you like a week to get out of shape. And now you want to ramp it up for the playoffs? It seems like this is desperate times for desperate measures for a Milwaukee team that thinks that they can't compete. I love that the line came down a little bit. I'm taking the Pacers minus a point. Listen, I expect them to be rusty, and I don't expect them to be in game shape. And both of those things means they may be worse defensively, and he's already bad there. Give me Milwaukee minus a point. I'm Indiana minus a point tonight versus Milwaukee.
All right, JY rolling with the Pacers there. I still feel good about my Pacers in 6 wager. Even if Milwaukee does win tonight, I know you're not projecting it, JY, but I do not think I won't be like, oh, well, Dame's back, series over. That's not, to me, how I view this one. Excited to watch it play out, though. Memphis rolled. They lose by 51. I don't think tonight, the idea for them, not that their mindset is we have to hang, but it's our effort level has to be the best it has been all season, or we might as well put a phone call into the league and let them know we don't want to be here. What are you expecting from this one?
Here's the thing. I'm going to expect them to be better offensively, Kevin. And I know their defense is good, but to me, I'm looking at OKC and saying, oh, my Lord. The thing I love the most, over 122.5 team total points for OKC. 131 in game one. SGA was not at his best, nowhere near it. They went over 3 of the 4 games this year. They've gotten over, I think, 125. The other game they got to was 120, I do believe. OKC will be able to score. Like, Memphis is going to be better offensively, but I don't know how much better they can be defensively. And if Memphis is in the game for a little while, that means OKC's got to keep pushing the pedal to the metal. Give me OKC over 122.5. Really quick, back to the first game. Bobby Portis over 10.5 points. I think he's going to be better tonight. They need him to be. I think we'll get more scoring out of Milwaukee. Isaiah Hartenstein over 9.5 points tonight. Should be able to get the double figures. I think Zach Edey struggles to guard him. That push floater is a problem. Over all 5 games versus Memphis this season, Isaiah Hartenstein over at 9.5 points tonight.
All right, so we got a couple props plays. JY, the big one tonight, you know it. It's Lakers Timberwolves. You felt good about Minnesota coming into this series. How do you feel, though, about game number 2? Lakers, I think, obvious to say, not looking to go down 0-2.
This is the must-win of must-wins, right? Because you're talking about going, look at every other series, right? You don't want to go down 0-2 at home, right? Because then the series is basically it's a wrap because 3 of the next 4 games or 5 games are on the road. This is a huge spot for the Lakers. I love the Lakers tonight minus the points because of the way they got their ass kicked on Saturday night. And you and I were there. I expect a huge bounce back spot by the Lakers. I think those other 3 starters, LeBron, Hachimura, Austin Reeves, much better. I do think Ant's going to be better, but I think you're not going to get this out of Jay McDaniels. And even though I was right about Naz Reid, we're not getting this out of Naz Reid tonight. Let's be honest. Julius Randle may turn into a pumpkin all over again. Give me the Lakers minus 5.5. And interesting here, I'm going Luka over 6.5 assists from both angles. If I am Coach Finch and Minnesota, I'm not letting this guy take over this game, especially early. And if I'm the Lakers, I need him to get other guys involved. They correlate with each other. Luka over 6.5 assists tonight.
I'm fascinated by the series assist leader market. You did have, in some spots, it was LeBron, in some spots, it was Ant. Luka dropped back quite significantly due to game number 1, where you get the 9-dime game out of Anthony Edwards, something you and I were tracking together while we were on air. Under the radar was the Luka Doncic 1-assist game, which obviously for Luka is such an outlier. I'm curious. So we talk, series assist leader. JY, you mentioned before the series you would be willing to challenge Gobert in terms of the series rebound leader. 8 for Ant in game number 1, 9 for Jaden McDaniels, 8 for Luka Doncic, and only 6 for Gobert. Do you still feel like Gobert is vulnerable in that market? He's still minus 180, for example, on FanDuel to lead the series.
I think so. He's vulnerable. I don't think he's going to get there because if you keep him in the game, you're going high pick and roll, drop coverage, game over, drive home safely. And then if you are Chris Finch, you got to turn around and get out of it, right? And that's why I think Naz Reid was so intriguing at his huge number because I feel like he's going to make big minutes. And I think he got 5 rebounds. I don't think he got any in the second half. So even Naz is still someone to play. You make a good point about Luka with the assists. And that's why I think if the series goes long, even though he's 20 points behind or 15 behind, Ant to lead the series in scoring. This is where you can get value. If the series goes long, which I still think it does, I still think it goes 6-7 games. If it goes long, you got plenty of time to catch up. So this is where the game 1, you should reevaluate and look at the market and find the value. Luka assists, I agree. I think Luka's got to get more guys involved. We both have said that. I think Ant's going to have to score more. And after everybody went off and Ant was pedestrian, maybe as he drives the ball to the basket, maybe I'm not coming off of Naz Reid. Maybe I'm not coming off of McDaniels. Maybe I'm saying, let him finish. especially going to the rim. Threes cut a hell of a lot more than twos.
I am also very disappointed in FanDuel right now because they are not as plentiful in options as I have grown accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
The series made threes leader market on DK reset with Ant at even money. I thought I would get a better price. I guess I overvalued how much they would move Luka up by 1, Naz Reid up by 2. But FanDuel doesn't even have the market. And I feel like I'm losing out a little bit. Go ahead, Jay.
Kev, I you know why? Because I think game one was such a crazy outlier that they don't know. I think they're going to wait for game two. Sometimes, you know what it is? Sometimes they just don't know. The game one was so crazy on so many levels by guys who played great to guys. I mean, LeBron was 0-0-0. Like, what the hell does that ever happen? They don't know. Sometimes they stay away.
You'll get a kick out of this, JY. And again, appreciate you making time. Always good to talk to you here on this Tuesday night. DK has the series threes up for Bucks Pacers. They put Lillard as the favorite at plus 230, which I thought was pretty funny.
Driving to the basket, chuck and dunk.
All right, appreciate it as always, Coach. Back with you right here. Game Time Decisions live on this Tuesday night.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Live right here on this Tuesday. Kevin Walsh with you. It is SportsGrid. It's Game Time Decisions. We're joined by Jared Hochman over from Covers to talk a little Major League Baseball and to talk some NHL playoffs as well. I want to get to this NHL postseason action with you, Jared. Appreciate you making some time. And talk a little Toronto-Ottawa. The Maple Leafs, the perception is pain in the postseason. Considerable favorites to get through this series. Game one, they handle their business. How do you feel about game number 2?
Well, Kevin, I feel really good about the Leafs. You kind of look at them and you said all that pain, all the kind of the history behind it. they looked calm in game one. They looked composed. They looked like a team that was in control. They weren't gripping the sticks too tightly. And they really kind of took care of business there against Ottawa. I think you're going to see again game two here at home. There's pressure in Ottawa. You don't want to go down 2-0. Of course, on the road, it's not as bad. I think the Leafs really have to prove that wasn't a fluke in game one, that they really came through and they want to deliver another strong effort. I think you're going to see them again come out like the better team that they are, like the team that is a big favorite, and they're going to take care of their business and play with that strong defensive structure that's kind of new to the Leafs fandom, but really has been serving them well this season.
Is there an angle then that you would, whether it would be tonight's game or maybe in the futures market on Toronto, do you think this could be a deep postseason run for them?
Yeah, well, Kevin, I will say before the playoffs started, I actually did put a futures bet on the Leafs to win it all at 14-1, longest odds I could find there. Again,
Okay.
they've kind of got all the pieces. That defensive structure's there. They trust the goaltending. They've got the offense, and a third and fourth line that's playing well. And kind of that defensive structure is where I'm looking at tonight. Really love a player prop. I'm looking at goalie Anthony Stolarz to go over his saves, which is 25.5. You can find that around minus 120, minus 130. Listen, it opened at 25.5. It moved to 24.5. Then it kind of jumped back up. I'm fine. I think FanDuel, you can still find the 24.5 and the 60-minute line. All of them's fine. The reason why is you look at the Leafs over the last 15 regular season games, they average more than 30 shots against, which is fifth most in the league. They give up 33 shots in game one. The thing is, they are fine with it. They are limiting high danger chances. They're trusting Stolarz just to make the saves he needs to make, not to steal games, just stop the easy shots. And I look at tonight's game, you think the biggest thing that Travis Green and the centers had to have said, stop taking penalties. They took 6 penalties in game one, got burned on the penalty kill there. I think you're going to see them try and play a little bit more at 5-on-5, which will let them get some more shots in net. They got 33, despite all the penalties, a little more 5-on-5 game. They should be able to create some chaos there, try and solve that Leafs defensive structure. Not saying it'll result in the win. I don't think it results in a win, but I think it should result in Stolarz getting 26 saves or more for the third straight game and his 6th time in his last 8 contests.
To me, the big one tonight, Jared, it's Tampa Bay and Florida. The defending champs start on the road, favored in the series, but an underdog in this opening game. If they don't win it here, they likely flip to dogs in this series. Is there an angle you like in game number one, and did you have any overviewing thoughts on Tampa Bay and Florida?
Listen, Kevin, both these teams have some firepower right now. Like Tampa kind of came in, giving up some goals. Florida's been also not the most stout overall. So I'm looking at some offense here tonight. I think the over 5.5 is definitely in play. The angle I'm really looking at, I'm looking at the power play for Tampa. I'm looking at Jake Gensel to get a power play point. You can find us at plus 275. I think Bet365 is the best number there. Florida has been pretty good at not giving up goals at 5-on-5 down the stretch, as has Tampa. So I think in that even strength, you're going to see a lot of tight checking, not a lot of space. Special teams has been a very different story. Florida's taken the 5th most penalties in the last month, and they sit in the bottom half of the league with a sub 80% success rate on the PK. There is maybe no worse team to do that against than the Bolts power play. They're 7th in the league over the final 4 weeks. You've got Kucherov and Point, Hagel, and Gensel. The reason I like Gensel, though, Kevin, is his plus 275 price, better than Braden Point, way better than Kucherov, who's almost like even money for it. And he led the team in power play goals, and he was 3rd on the team with points with the man advantage. So I think this is going to come down to special teams. I think you've got some elite power plays, kind of shaky penalty kills despite the goaltending. I think we're looking at Gensel to do his part on the man advantage in what should be a high-scoring affair.
Man, it should be a really fun game. I'm excited to follow this one tonight. Let me ask you about the night game, Vegas and Minnesota. My absolutely no research, all vibes bracket had Vegas going quite far in this one. What do you think with the Knights trying to go up 2-0 on Minnesota?
I think you're right there, Kevin. Listen, they're a wagon, Vegas, and we're not talking about them like we should be. They're minus 230-ish money line favorite tonight. But I'm looking to shave 100 points off that price and take them to win in regulation on the 60-minute money line. You talk about the good vibes, but you know what? They're a good roster, too. They've got a bunch of depth, up and down the forward lines. Probably the deepest blue line of any team in the playoffs. They got Nick Hague and Alex Pietrangelo on the 3rd pairing, which is wild. Big goaltending advantage with Aiden Hill against Philip Gustafsson. And you just kind of see it that they're so strong defensively and just so physically strong. They kind of grinded down Minnesota in game one. I think you're going to see them do kind of the same thing in game two, that depth, that consistency. Not a lot of flashiness on this team, but they just come after you every shift. I've seen the three-way money line as low as -160 at some books. I'm confined at around -135 at Bet365. I'll happily take that. And I expect Vegas to take care of business, keep those good vibes rolling, and make you look pretty smart too with a no research winner.
Yeah, trust me. There will be no victory lapping if they get it done. It'll just be me being like, I knew it. Why didn't I bet it? Type of thing. It'll be pain regardless. We don't have a ton of time left, Jared. I really appreciate you making time here. But let me just, before we let you go, Major League Baseball, anywhere we should be looking tonight on that card?
Yes. Sorry. Cover there. Blue Jays, Astros. I'm looking at the first 5 under. You've got Chris Bassett. He's been dealing, giving up 2 earned runs through 23rd and the third innings. The Blue Jays can't hit, though. Meanwhile, Houston can't hit. So I've got 2 teams that struggle on offense. You've got a great pitcher. Ronel Blanco has not been great, but it doesn't matter. You can get them under 4.5 or -130. Take it if you can get plus money at the flat 4. Take that as well. Other one I'm looking at, sicko pick, Ryan Feltner of the Colorado Rockies. I'm going as over 15.5 outs. You can get that plus money at Caesars. He's gone at least 5 innings in 3 of his first 4 starts. Got beat up by the Dodgers, but it's fine. The Royals are one of the worst offenses in baseball, hitting 204 against righties. They don't walk. They don't make good contact. They don't run up pitch counts. Feltner can have a couple low pitch innings, get him pitching into the 6th. And with a great matchup, I think you can look at him to really just kind of cruise in a game that probably nobody will be watching, though.
I tell you, man. And it's not great out of me, but if you label anything a sicko pick, you don't even need the breakdown. You've got me in hook, line, and sinker. Jared Hockman, you can find him on covers. Awesome. Really appreciate it. We'll do it again soon. And we'll be right back here after this break, live on SportsGrid.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
Rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Whoa! What do you say? Little Tuesday night. Where's this Jason Dominguez? Need a home run. Rooted it in. Root. That's what we need, people. I'm really excited to talk NFL draft here tonight. We're going to do it in just a little bit. We're going to do the Take 5. I'll let you know some of the stuff we're hearing from the crew. Some of it's conflicting. Some of it's not. I me and Casino Chris been talking a ton about the draft. He's really into the draft. So we're going to go through all of that. I do just want to reset the NBA card, though. If you're just tuning in with us, that's where my energy is tonight. And we're going to be really, really focused in on these games. And we're not going to lose sight of the NBA at all. But obviously the draft is, that's going to ramp up. It's going to be big-time coverage here on SportsGrid. Always is, Thursday and Friday. So make sure you're tuned in for that. Pacers, Bucks, that's coming up next. Giannis over 18.5. Rebounds plus assists. My favorite bet all night. Halliburton, Lillard, over 5.5 made threes combined. Minus 105. Let me give you an idea on what that number is most recently. Let me see what I got here for you. Just in case it's moved. Maybe you're like, it's minus 110. I think it's a great bet. I'm telling you, it is on the board that one of them does it on their own. I really, really believe that. I will say, from a series perspective, I don't mind A.J. Green's plus 500 as a leader. I have been doing the series leader markets now, like a lot, for 2 postseasons, at least coming into this one. And I've always just gone back and forth with DK and FD. That's always how it's been. I am so annoyed that FD is not kind of doing their part with the markets. I just don't know why. Maybe I need to just kind of try. I like to have multiple looks. I like to have multiple price points that you can try and balance against one another. And I'm blown away that we aren't getting like those options. Let's see here. BetMGM, AJ Green 5-1, Halliburton 7-1. No Lillard posted. See, like that Lillard, but Halliburton's 3-1 on DK. Like that's why you need 2 price points there. Like Hallie at 7 is interesting. AJ Green at 5 is interesting. Lillard at plus 230 is crazy. We don't even know what his workload is tonight. But the Bucks minutes and things like that are going to get really wonky. So there's 2 games in, we can reset. Here's another update, by the way. I didn't mention this. It's for tomorrow. Tatum's going to miss game 2. He's doubtful. He's going to miss the game. Boston's up 1-0. Even if they lose tomorrow, which I think they might, it's not going to be a panic thing. He'll play game 3. It's just, this has been going on. This is a dance that I tweet about it. Me and Tatum have had for years. I cannot make money on the guy. It just doesn't happen. I bet him to lead the series in points. He didn't. I was going to bet him again off of the bad game 1. Plus 400. Now he's not going to play in game 2. He's obviously not going to lead the series in scoring. We'll see what happens. I'm not in on Boston high level, but also how can I keep saying good things about the Knicks? Like I can't with what happened yesterday. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit. We're going to do the draft at the top of the hour. So Thunder Grizzlies, SGA over the first quarter points, 10.5 plus 102. Jaren Jackson Jr. over 18.5 points. Triple J has to step up in this game more than anyone else on Memphis. I really believe that. Because just, all right, he struggled, didn't have the rhythm. Bane, okay, whatever, everything was going bad. Jaren Jackson Jr. was the one who's like, oh, you are in situations that are supposed to be advantageous to you, and you can do nothing with it. I think you'll see a much better Triple J tonight. I like him over the 18.5. Lakers, Timberwolves. Lakers got to have it. I think they will. I'm on their team total over 107.5. I'm fascinated by Rudy Gobert. Did Finch enter this series saying, feelings irrelevant. I know what it is. I'm not playing Gobert 35 minutes. I'm going to small ball, and we're going to bomb threes. Or did they semi-fall backwards into that due to Gobert foul trouble? We'll find out. It would be very, I guess, funny if Luka's desire to hunt Gobert and get him into foul trouble, which he can seemingly do on any possession, is the undoing of the Lakers because it stops Gobert from being on the court. It's a fascinating series. I think the Lakers level it tonight. They're booked as considerable favorites to do so on a postseason number perspective. Time will tell. Let's talk some draft, shall we? It's draft week, baby. That's next.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve to be first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Larry right here. It is on SportsGrid, folks. What do you say, a little Tuesday night? Great to have you. Great to have you with us here. 1-0 Yanks on the Guardians. 1-0 Miami already on Cincy. 2-0. Did James Wood home run? I would have known if he homered. I should have known that. Oh, let me tell you, this Nathaniel's low. This guy's got it going on right now. He's smoking right-handed pitching. I just didn't want to go back to him, but he's got it going on right now. Oh, ones are wild. Polanco with a home run. Boston. Is J-Rod terrible? You guys can't hear this. I've said this many times. You all know this. A baseball crew runs this show, basically. Unanimous, simultaneous, yes. As I ask that question to you, the people. I do this sometimes. I was like I don't know if he's that good J-Rod guy going into last year. And then that kind of started to swing, and then I got in on him coming into this year. He's batting 188. It's wild. He was supposed to be a no-doubt future MVP. Maybe he's still super young, but like, man. 188, I don't know. I get it. It's April. I know. But still, come on. Like last year, he got off to a slow start. He was hitting 190 on the 15th of April. There's going to be a run, though. There's got to be a J-Rod run. All right, I said I'd talk draft. Let's talk draft, okay? I have a take 5 for you. It is not our most traditional take 5. These are the 5. I've only placed 5, so it kind of worked perfectly. NFL draft bets that I have placed so far. Not every single one of these bets you can get at this exact number, but I wanted to let you know where I'm at right now, and we can kind of work off of that, okay? So my current 5 draft bets, I'm going to give them to you in chronological order. First bet I placed, Kenneth Grant and Emeka Egbuka, both to go in round number 1 parlay. It was at plus 111. That same action, at least on the book that I placed it at, is now minus 142, which is great. I don't think that's a bad number. If you wanted to throw in someone else to try and level that out, I think the draft is a place you can start to do things like that. A Tyler Booker but I am on the Grant Egbuka parlay. Kenneth Grant, to me, is a no doubt, absolutely going in round one guy, and it impacts another one of the bets I made. We'll get to that in a second, okay? The second bet I placed was a little bit more of a let's take a swing at the time, which was Tet McMillan to go top 10. That bet was, I believe, at plus 480, if not plus 490. And you guys in the back, you can pop up the whole thing, which is fine. We're just going to go through kind of piece by piece here when it comes to the Take 5 for this stuff. McMillan to go top 10. So, like 2 months ago, McMillan was on the board potentially at 4 or 5, 6, all right. And then, like, some people started to push McMillan into, like, the 20s. Like, he's slow. He's not that good. It's like, what? I'm in on McMillan, the prospect. That's separate from my action. That's not the way to do this. That's not how we're going to, make the most of the money, okay? But the number and the timing was right. It's now plus 180 I'm seeing on FanDuel. Always look for the best of the number. I'm just going to go off the FD numbers that are in front of me. I think McMillan is absolutely going inside the top 12. He could fall to Dallas. He could. I do not think that will happen. I, in this moment, think the Jaguars want McMillan. I think they want to trade back. I think they feel confident that they can trade back and still get Tet McMillan. We'll do the Genty stuff in a minute. Tyler Warren draft position under 10.5, minus 152. This popped up on FD. I was very excited about it. It's now minus 192. I would absolutely rather, though, the under 10.5 than under 9.5. 10 matters. If the Bears sit at 10 and Genty is not going to be theirs, I think they take Warren. I actually, due to the depth of running back, I might, if I were in that room, be arguing we should want Warren over Genty. I understand how good Genty is. I think Warren could be so perfect for that team. But it's not just a Bears thing. I think Warren is in play for the Jags. I think Warren is in play massively for the Jets, which is right now where I think he goes. If you tried to pin me to it, I think the Saints, I think the Bears. I think he's in play for all of those teams. And that's what the reporting is telling us. And even if you are in on Colston Loveland, which again, like that is totally fine. You could sell me on that. I'm open to that. I might be there with you. I don't know. I'm figuring that out still, kind of. I like both a lot. The league is more in on Warren than Loveland. That's where it's at. I think Warren goes in the top 10. And then these are two bets that I placed today. One at plus 130 and one at plus 160. And those numbers have not really moved much. The Chargers and the Niners, their first pick to be a defensive lineman. The Chargers one is tied to pick number 1 with Kenneth Grant. The simple idea appears to be Harbaugh's going to draft a Michigan man, and he loves Kenneth Grant. And the worry is, will Kenneth Grant even be on the board for Harbaugh when he gets there? I think the more concerning thing is Colston Loveland going to be on the board, and then he's deciding between two Michigan men. And that's why tight end's got the second best odds. But we've seen reports, Peter Schrager this week said Loveland's going to go higher than people think. That, to me, says before 22. That's what that says to me. I think Grant goes, and if it's not Grant, as long as Loveland's not on the board, I think they're still looking at a defensive lineman. This is supposed to be a great defensive line class. So there are a number of teams I think this is interesting. I mentioned our guy Chris. He's on Washington in the market. I like the bet. I'm interested in Philly in the market. Plus prices on D linemen going. The over-under for defensive linemen around number 1 is 8.5, almost minus 300 to the over. The books are thinking 9, 10 of these guys going round number 1, floor of 8. Their spots to attack, including San Francisco. The reporting today is the Niners like the edge position. I don't know if it's Mikael Williams. I think Jalen Walker could be a little bit more of a faller than others. I think Walker or Williams, the two Georgia kids, absolutely on the board. If they want to go with Shamar Stewart, Derek Harmon, we've seen all of these different guys mocked there. That is, to me, Mason Graham. If that fall happens, I don't think it'll be that far, but I think the one blow up, if you will, would be Kelvin Banks falling outside of the top 10. I think they would be tempted. But Kelvin Banks is now minus 175 to be a top 10 pick. We'll talk a little more draft, update you on the live odds as well next. We're live with you on this Tuesday night.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, let's update this live board. We'll get back to some draft chatter. Just unload the brain a little bit. 16-8 early run for the Pacers. Offense looks great. Halliburton hasn't taken a shot yet, impacting the game massively. I don't know. People don't realize he's good. That's fine. I need him to shoot some threes. He's got 4 assists already. Lillard also hasn't shot the ball yet. That's more surprising. That's also just awful coaching. Doc Rivers is a bad coach at this point. He's been around a long time. He's not a good coach. The first play you should be running for Dame. So, blame Pye, everyone. Kuzma's still trying to find the basket. I mean, this is bizarre to watch that whole thing play out. Lillard, they just called a timeout. The first play should be Dame. Just settle him in. Bad coach. We know that, all right? Yanks still 1-0. Volpe did just ground out into a double play, though. They had 2 on. So that slows any momentum that was building there. It's 1 up now in Miami, Cincinnati. Marte homered. A lot of Martes in Major League Baseball. Noelvi Marte hits the home run. 2-0 San Diego. Shout out Fernando Tatis. He didn't do anything, but just still shout him out. Nats on the board again. That's 3-0 up on Baltimore. Orioles kind of stink, no? Pretty well. The unanimous yup was back. Yep. It's Baltimore, who was my pick last year to win the World Series, massively let me down at the deadline. There were some who defended their inactivity. They're young. They'll be fine. Do those people feel the same about them than doing nothing this offseason and just getting worse? Probably not. But that's what happened. You can say it's early. They don't look good at all. There were smart people selling them coming into the season, and they feel good about it now. Still 1 up with Boston and Seattle. We just got underway with the Mets and the Phillies. This is a please respect us series for the Mets, by the way. They are not being, from what I can tell, I don't think they're being talked about a ton. They entered today tied for the best record in baseball with the Padres and the Dodgers. I don't remember what publication it was. They did the power rankings thing. I think the Mets were outside of the top 10. That's wild. The Mets seem to be not liked a lot. But maybe I'm reading. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people outside of Mets fans like the Mets. I'm in on that team. I still can't believe they let the Marlins shut them out at home. Torian Prince is out there running offense. Just fire everyone into the sun. That's what we're watching over in the NBA. Ice updates, by the way. 2-1 Carolina. All right, so that's why those prices were what they were. We'll see if the Devils can get back on the board. All right, so draft. So here's the thing with the draft. Odds to go first overall, Cam Ward, minus $1 billion. Hunter to go second overall, minus $1 trillion. Minus 1350. Minus 700, Abdul Carter 3. Minus 700, Will Campbell 4. So the books are telling us, sign, seal, deliver, picks 1 through 4. There was a report this morning from Peter Schrager of now ESPN that said teams are calling the Browns at 2, the Giants at 3, and those teams are listening. I do not. If you're Cleveland and you trade with Jacksonville, who is linked to really liking Travis Hunter, and you go back to 5, who are you drafting at 5? Is the fan base in any way happy that you added a couple of extra assets and missed out on Travis Hunter? I highly doubt that. If you're the Giants and you trade back from 3, I can see that a little bit more. Not because of the log jam that people talk about with Thibodeau and Brian Burns. I think you can fix that easily with just moving on from Kayvon Thibodeau. It's because I think the Abdul Carter return is a little bit easier to figure out than two-way Travis. I think it would be substantial, depending on who the team is. I think there'd be a lot of teams that would call too for Abdul Carter, like a ton. I think they would get a lot. And I think if they made that move, then they could probably pivot and draft quarterback, which a portion of that front office really wants them to do. I just don't think Cleveland's in that same situation. But again, it's the 3rd overall pick, minus 700, it's Abdul Carter. Even if you get a trade, it's probably still someone coming up for Abdul Carter. I do not think anyone is trading into the top 3 to draft Ashton Genty. Flatly, that would be a ridiculous decision. All right? Campbell appears to be going to New England. I'm a little surprised at how locked in that is. due to the concerns there seem to be around Will Campbell from the process, just the size of it all, no character concerns or anything like that, but that's where it is. So now you have this Ashton Genty steam, and now he's minus 130 to be the 5th overall pick. But this is the thing with draft betting, and this is always important. And I know you probably know this, but it's still important to mention. Does not need to be Jacksonville. I am currently doubtful that the Jags will select Ashton Genty. It's a deep RB draft. It's not a top need for them right now. They need more pass catchers in that room. They lost Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram throughout the offseason. You could argue they already didn't have enough. They're probably going to get rid of Gabe Davis as well. Brian Thomas is incredible. Everything's about Trevor Lawrence. You would like to think they will want more in that room. I think they'd love to bring in Ted McMillan. I could see Tyler Warren as well. I think there's a decent chance that one of them would be on the board at 10 if they traded out. In this moment, I tend to think the Bears could come up and pick at 5. That's where I'm at. Which then makes odds to go 10th overall really, really interesting because it may not be the Bears actually drafting in that spot. We'll have you right here to this Game Time decision.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve to be first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back at the right here, we are on SportsGrid. We have the game between Toronto and Ottawa coming up shortly on the ice. Still 2-1 Carolina. We have Oklahoma City and Memphis coming up in just a little bit as well on SGA first quarter points over 10.5 on Jaren Jackson Jr. over 18.5 points. Indiana nearly doubling up Milwaukee right now. Dame just got his first basket of the game. He makes it. Giannis has 2 assists early, just 1 rebound, 6 points. Halliburton did hit a 3. His first of the series. He's leading all scorers with 7, also leading all rebounders with 3, and leading all assisters with 5. It'd be great if they lit a fire under Halliburton now. That'd be nice to see. Baseball board, nothing wild to report. All right, so we're doing the draft stuff. Here's one of the things within the draft that is really captivating me. All right. So we have our chalk, right? Let's just say it holds. Ward, Hunter, Carter, Campbell. All right, 4 gone. Now at pick 5, Genty's the favorite. At the moment, I think Jacksonville trades back to 10. Chicago comes up. They secure Genty. That's where I'm at. Let's just say it's Genty at 5. More importantly, though, to me, Mason Graham, who the entire process was going 5th overall, has now fallen outside of the top 5. Mason Graham, though, is a huge favorite to be a top 10 pick. So now you are existing in this incredibly small window. Just to give you an idea, to be a top 10 pick, minus prices, Mykel Williams, minus 125. Calvin Banks Jr., minus 175. Tyler Warren, same price. Armand Membu, minus 240, which is looking tempting. Jalen Walker, minus 400. Mason Graham is minus 1,500. But he's not going top 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 spots for Mason Graham to possibly be selected. I have wondered about how the Raiders would react to Mason Graham being on the board because of the Michigan connections with their general manager, Spytech, as well as, of course, Tom Brady. I think that's interesting. The Jets are a BPA type of franchise. There's a lot of Membu, Calvin Banks buzz. There's a lot of Tyler Warren buzz. Maybe they weren't thinking Mason Graham would be there. I kind of don't think they're in on Mason Graham. Carolina, who are considerable favorites to draft Jalen Walker, if you kind of read the tea leaves, it seems like they would take Mason Graham if he's there. That's what it seems like to me. That's plus 800. That's plus 800. At 9, it's New Orleans. It feels like New Orleans is going offense to me. There's no consensus on this. Odds to go 9th right now. Top 5. Mykel Williams, plus 420. That's the starting price. Jackson Dart, 6-1. Tyler Warren, 6-1. Shedeur Sanders, 7-1. Mason Graham, 7-1. Books have no idea what's happening at 9. None. To go 10th, that's where it's supposed to be Chicago. Warren's a favorite, but you're talking a plus 360. Mason Graham sitting at a 12-1. That's been a dropping number throughout the day. If you want a big plus price, you can put it in a few boxes, but Graham to go, and this might be how I play it. I will tweet out action as I place it, which I've been doing throughout the whole time, tomorrow and Thursday, no doubt. I'm thinking of playing Graham to go 6th, 7th, 8th. That's where I'm at right now. I don't think he goes beyond that. If he does, he does. Won't overextend it. You're going to get a lot of plus prices. That's one of the more fascinating things of this draft. The other is, of course, what's going to happen with the quarterback position. And it's one of those things, and let me pull it up quickly. The Ringer has some draft specials. Shedeur Sanders to be drafted 15th overall or later, minus 260. It just doesn't seem like a quarterback's going inside that top 15. It seems like right now, the expectation is Cam Ward will be the only quarterback selected inside the top 20. At that point, then, we see what Pittsburgh does at 21. And then you wonder about trade-ups or chaos teams. The Rams connected. Interesting. Back with you right here. We're live on SportsGrid, though.
knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today. Only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Pacers Bucks, it's 36-24 Indiana. Lillard at the line, looking to get a little bit going here. He's got a 3 on the board as well. Should have been more Dame early. Dame might play the whole first quarter, which is, by the way, the usual Dame rotation. That means the book's messed up with his pricing. I want to see what it is at the end of the first quarter. I want to see when he subs out. I want to quickly just acknowledge a 3 tomorrow in the association. Boston, Orlando. Boston is a double-digit favorite with Tatum doubtful. That feels very disrespectful to Tatum. I don't think Boston was going to get back up to that 14 number, or the book's not. It was at a 197, which is crazy. But the books kind of know, like, Tatum's not going to play. So I'm surprised at how low or how high the spread still is. You're offering double digits on a sub 200 total. I have to look Orlando's way in that game. I still think it can be a longer series. I really do. I'm not as in on Boston this season entering the playoffs. To me, they were in a really, really good spot entering last year. They took advantage of it. Cleveland, I remain in on this team. I do not think that you don't have to overextend reactions off of anything that happens with them against Miami. If Miami hangs, they have pedigree, Spoelstra, right? If Cleveland rolls them, it's a team that's 8 games under 500 that was supposed to be the 10 seed in the playoffs. But there's certain performances you want to see that I want to see as someone on Cleveland to win the championship. And I thought Donovan was awesome in game number 1. Great. Want to see a little bit more Mobley. I liked what I saw from Garland. We'll let that run. The big one is Houston, Golden State. Rockets need it. Fair to say. Right? Same spot for the Lakers. They're the only 2 home teams who dropped game 1. It's just the tax. And I know it's not a ton. But I guess it's spots, right? Like, that's what it's going to be. It's minus 3.5 for the Rockets. And you jump it up off of game 1. I tend to think Houston will handle their business, but it's not but it's still only 3.5, like rightfully so, right? Like I would be more surprised if Minnesota won tonight than if Golden State won tomorrow, and the numbers all support that. Interested to see how much Steven Adams we got. He was very, very good in game number 1, very impactful in game number 1, and is going to get a chance to lead that series in rebounds if he plays that same amount of minutes. He was the only player on the Rockets who finished with a positive plus-minus in that game, so obviously he's going to be important to that team. We'll keep our eyes on everything going on, NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, but I want to get back to the draft. I want to talk to Andrew Caley, covers. We talked to Andrew a little bit 2 weeks ago, week ago. It's a draft. It all blends together. It's that time of year. Andrew, it's great to talk to you again. I'm gonna start. They're all kind of brain teasers. Where are you at on the quarterbacks? It was at one point over 2.5, heavily juiced to the over. It's, I think, at last look minus 135. There's a lot of people that are starting to think it's just Cam Ward that goes inside round number 1. Where are you on the quarterbacks entering Thursday?
I did a mock draft, my last one that I did, and I had 3 going in the first round. I had the Saints taking Jackson Dart at 9, just because I have no idea what the Saints are going to do at 9. And if you like Jackson Dart, like you've kind of been hearing, why would you wait when that you could possibly go? But now I'm kind of thinking that it's going to go the under 2.5 as well. I was maybe stuck in the mindset that what we saw last year with those first 4 guys going, and then Penix going, and then Bo Nix going, and being like, I can't believe all these guys went in the first 12 picks or whatever. And it's kind of tough to get that out of your brain. But personally, I think Cam Ward is about in that Michael Penix range from last year, and he's going first overall. And then, so we're talking about guys who would be ranked 10th and 11th and 12th if you put those 2 classes together. And I don't know if guys are going to be investing a first round pick in those guys. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking that now too. I think under 2.5 quarterbacks in the first round is probably the way to go now.
Yeah, I weirdly feel as if I either want under 1.5 or over 3.5 as possible options. Where if we're still doing the I want the 50-year thing, then the teams will trade up and secure that because they can if they want it, or everyone's just going to sit there and wait because you have Cleveland and New York, the Giants, picking first and second in round number 2. So they're not worried about getting jumped if these guys don't go in the first round, and they are supposed to be the most threatening teams to trade back up into the first round, which is fascinating. The Browns and the Giants also dictating so much of this draft, Andrew, I don't know if I'm comfortable with. Now today we're balancing, they might trade out from 2 and 3. It's what do these guys even want to draft? What's going on here?
No, they're not going to draft. First of all, no one's going to give up enough capital for those spots to move out of those spots. So that's all the smoke screen. I don't think those 2 guys are moving anywhere. We know that Cam Ward's going to Tennessee at this point. That is about as close to a draft lock as you can get. And then there's only 2 elite prospects in this draft. And you're telling me these 2 teams who are actually dying to have elite talent on their rosters, they're going to pass up on Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. I still think it's going to be Hunter that goes 2, just because the Browns signed Myles Garrett, and I wouldn't see. I think that Hunter fills more needs for them at this point, but you're not passing on those blue chip prospects at this point. You're not. So draft starts at 4 for me is what I'm thinking at heading into Thursday here.
Well, the problem, the issue with that, though, is, right, so the draft should start at 4, but the odds are telling us, nope, starts at 5, but nobody thinks Will Campbell is in the class of the first 3 guys. So that's why the New England certainty has not sat right with me at all. Now, I can't go against it, right? I'm not sitting here hey, look at all these other guys I'm betting to go 4. It feels like it would be wasteful. I just don't know how New England came to this conclusion. I saw today Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, very plugged in NFL insider, say he thinks it would be an offensive tackle even if Abdul Carter was on the board at 4. Which was just I just don't know what New England's got going on there now.
I think that's the first spot that actually can trade back because there's a team. I think the running back is back, and I think it might be a team like the Bears trying to like leapfrog somebody, like, because all that noise about the Raiders taking Ashton Jinty, and the Bears are now being linked to him very heavily. Like, oh, if he gets to us, we'd love to take him. Well, I don't think he's going to get you at 10, so you're going to have to make that move. And they have those two high second round picks, so they can maneuver a little bit in the first round here. And if New England drops from 4 to 10, like, I think they're getting pretty much a very similar caliber player they will at 4 as they would at 10. So they're going to improve on that draft capital, which they need because there's so many holes on that New England roster. Still get a guy they could probably, maybe even they could get Will Campbell at 10. Like, that's how, like, it depends on where Membu goes, and like Kelvin Banks is available. Like, there's very good tackles there at that spot as well. So I don't know. I think that there is an opportunity for the Patriots to trade out of that spot, but if they don't, it's I don't know. It's a tough spot.
Yeah, it is. That's the trade ups. New England just doesn't seem to have that interest right now. We're coming up against the break. We're gonna have Andrew stick around. We're gonna kind of get some ideas on where he's already locked in with some of these draft props. Just quickly, 40-30, high scoring first quarter in Indiana and Milwaukee. We'll talk about it all next right here on Sports.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve the first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here. It is Game Time Decisions, talking with Andrew Kelly from Covers.com. Does an excellent job covering all things. Let me ask you quickly, Andrew, where are you involved on the slate tonight? NHL, baseball, anything going right now?
I actually am just on. I do a lot of Blue Jays coverage for Covers.com. We have we do some work with some good people up there in Toronto, and I have Chris Bassett over 5.5 strikeouts. That's close to even money. He's been really awesome this year, which is kind of shocking. I'm not holding out hope that it lasts too much longer, but the Astros are not hitting that well, despite the fact that they had been an outburst against the Jays last night. But I think he gets over that number pretty easily against a team that has the 11th highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching so far this year.
All right, so a little Chris Bassett. We'll keep eyes on that. We're talking some NFL draft with Andrew Kelly. Just kind of getting set for Thursday. And the tricky thing is, I was talking with Andrew, and I went through like the 5 bets that I have so far, and it's a lot of, hey, this might not help you because things are completely gone. There are a couple of things that remain. I know for you, things have obviously been moving a ton. So maybe the better question then is there anything that you are trying to track and really follow and feels like, okay, there's going to be some value here, but I'm waiting on 1 or 2 more pieces of news before I, click submit on a bet?
The Ted McMillan thing is what I'm following the most right now. I got him earlier at plus 425 to be the top 10 pick. I didn't get this kind of mixed, like people are saying he's a polarizing prospect. I don't see that at all. I watched too much Arizona games this year to say that he's a polar. He is a very tall, fluid-moving dude who has great hands. He's not the fastest guy. I think Drake London is a fine comp for him, but I think he's even he's more flexible than Drake is, sort of thing. He's very good at high pointing the ball, and he has good bend to him when it comes to going in and out of routes. I think he's a bit of a game changer. Go back and watch his film against Colorado this year, where he absolutely cooked the Heisman Trophy winner this year. So he's really good. I think that the Jaguars really need to address lots of things, but if they don't have Trevor Lawrence being as good as Trevor Lawrence can be, they're just going to be stuck again, and they're going to be looking for another quarterback next year. Brian Thomas, obviously a great selection for them, but pairing him with a guy like Ted McMillan on the outside could make them a really, really dangerous passing offense. But we just talked about this. Now I'm looking at the draft board, and it says Ashton Ginty is the favorite to be drafted by the Jaguars now. I haven't. Have you seen any sort of news? I haven't heard the news as I was prepping to come on here that somebody was linking the Jags to him now. But that would be a very, very interesting move for me.
There's a lot of Ginty Jaguar buzz. The problem is it is all then backed up with the Jags want to trade up or down. So it feels very easy to go, all right, so they're trying to force Chicago to get in front of Vegas. To me, but I could see them taking Ginty because they just want good offensive players, and there's this idea that Genty's going to be a great offensive player, which feels very safe, right? It's throwing me off a little bit. There's another thing that's throwing me off, and you were tweeting about it. And it's if it happens, it's going to it feels like it's going to spoil a bunch of other bets, so maybe I need to kind of act quicker. But it's the Jets taking Jahdae Barron at 7, and there's an element of it where it goes, the defensive coordinator who was a cornerback, who they just hired to be their head coach, took the guy who won best cornerback in all of college football. Of course that he did, kind of thing. But his over-under was 18.5 6 hours ago. So that's the one that is really, now when I'm mentally telling myself it's going to be Tyler Warren, it's no, it's not. It's going to be a defensive player. So that one's really throwing me off. And I saw you were kind of snooping around that area as well.
Yeah, the top 10 picks, the top 5 picks, and the first-round draft picks, I think those are, at this point, where you're going to find your best value. You have to lock in as much as you can. We obviously don't know anything because this is the craziest betting event that there is in sport. I think it's because these lines move, like you're just talking, these lines move so drastically and so fastly, and generally on just hearsay and rumors or very little amounts of money being wagered on somebody, and these lines just go crazy. Half of my bets that I have on the draft now are absolutely gone right now. So I think you're looking for guys in those top, who can sneak in right now, and Barron is a guy who has been linked to the Jets now. So, I saw him at the board. I don't know what it is now, if it's moved. No, it's still 6-1, which is pretty good. But if he goes, that's great value if he goes to the Jets. But like you said, it's 17.5. I like to take those numbers into account as well. And it feels like the Jets are his only spot, because I personally still have Will Johnson as my number one corner, which is the other thing that I battle around. Like I see Will Johnson, and I see a guy who doesn't have great stats, and he has a bunch of injury stuff going on, but he doesn't have stats because nobody was throwing on his side of the field in the Big Ten all last year. That's how good he was. So it's a very complex situation. I really like trying to be like, hey, like, this guy's 6-1. I'm gonna fire on this. It was McMillan earlier in the week, so I fired on that. And you're just hoping that one or two of these hits on draft nights, and you turn in a profitable night. That's basically what you're doing here. Who has the chance? Who has the chance to sneak into these spots? I like it with the first round picks as well. A guy like Luther Burden, for me, who is my number 2 wide receiver, you get 2-1 to go in the first round. Like, I think he's an excellent choice there. A guy like Chevelle Revel for junior from East Carolina, a cornerback who is recovering from an ACL. He's another guy who can sneak in. He's like plus 250. Those are the type of bets I'm looking at right now.
All right, so it's all stuff we'll keep our eye on. Andrew, really appreciate it. Best of luck figuring out these next 48 hours, huh?
Oh, it's always an adventure. Thanks. Good luck to you too, buddy.
Yeah, all right, you got it. That's Andrew Kelly there from Covers.com. It's going to be a really fun draft season. I'll just mention this right now, and this is kind of where I call it, same supermarket, different aisle discount. Number 7 overall pick, Jahdae Barron, plus 550. Jets position the first player drafted, cornerback, 16-1. So we'll try and we'll figure this thing out, man. We'll figure it out. We'll close it out next, right here on Game Time Decisions.
Knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Hasn't been a ton of indication that Cleveland is even looking at anybody outside of Travis Hunter. The Giants, yes, have worked out Shedeur Sanders.
I do think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Not because they deserve to be first round, have a first round grade on them per se, but the fact that you get the extra year of control, somebody's going to slide into one of those 30, 31, or 32 slots and grab a quarterback.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Only on SportsGrid. Back in the right here, folks. It is Kevin Walsh. It is Game Time Decisions. It'll be in-game live next. So make sure you are dialed in as they will be following all of the NBA playoff action, which early returns, double blowouts. SGA still starting slow. 1 for 4, yet to hit a 3. Going to be a burst if he's going to be able to get through The 10.5 number, we'll see if it happens. Again, it's not tracking towards that direction. Pacers are up 14. Bucks can't get a stop. They just can't. Indiana is shooting 7 of 14 from beyond the arc, perfect from the line. Incredibly, they're not even shooting 50% from the field, but they've already made 7 threes. The Bucks are 4 of 7 from 3. They're just getting outmatched right now. Turnover battle, they're losing it. It's letting the Pacers get out and run some from what I can follow here. Pacers, again, up 50-36 pretty early on into the second quarter there. Lakers-Timberwolves tonight. This is a huge game. There's one angle, theory, question around Lakers-Timberwolves that I've not necessarily turned over on air yet. I think it is very important tonight to try and gauge the LeBron performance. I've spoke with a couple of people. I've seen some others wonder about LeBron's health. And I want to just quickly, immediately make sure that everyone understands, not from an excuse lane. LeBron was not good in game number 1. And if he is unhealthy at this moment, that is really, really, really bad for the Lakers. And it's going to impact the long-term outlook for what this whole situation in LA is going to be. It is valid to ask, because not just he is 40, LeBron left the game injured that closed out his regular season that Friday, against the Rockets. LeBron, when asked about his availability or health, I guess, coming into the postseason, he said, "I'm available." So you wonder, yes, there's some, level of dramatics, you could say, maybe from LeBron. But he was so, slow getting going into the game. You wonder. You just wonder. And if he is not healthy, again, that is not, he wasn't healthy. It, to me, then, would signal the first time that you're going to look at LeBron's health costing the Lakers in the postseason. LeBron was not healthy enough twice, and it cost them a spot in the postseason. His first year in LA, and then there was another season in between where he was injured. AD dealt with injuries. The first time AD wasn't even there. That's different. But if you look at the Lakers' postseasons, he has been good to go. There's been, they ran into Denver, AD's injuries, different things. They won a championship. But if this team, and I'm not saying this will be the case, but if this team is eliminated in round 1, and one of the reasons why ends up being LeBron's health, that is a completely different thing. It would be understandable at his age, but it then would really impact, for me, massively, the Lakers much beyond this season, because then you just go, yeah, at age 41, you can't trust him to cross the finish line, which I think is fascinating a little bit, because that's just not been the case when it comes to LeBron ever, really, but certainly, not as an LA Laker. I don't think it comes to that, though. I think the Lakers will be significantly better on offense tonight. First game with Luka in the lineup, they didn't score 100 points. How does that happen? Because one guy on the entire team played well. Luka. Luka was great, ultimately. I don't know. You want to do the defense thing, you can. He scored 16 in the first quarter, 37 overall, 5 of 10 from 3. Reeves was bad. LeBron was bad. Rui started okay and then was awful the rest of the game. Hayes didn't get to really play. Finney-Smith couldn't hit a shot. Who could? Right? Non-Luka Lakers, 10 of 31 from beyond the arc. You can't win like that. Who steps up tonight from the Lakers? We'll see. I think the whole team will, and go over 107.5 on their team total. On the other side, I'll play Rudy Gobert over the 9.5 points. We'll watch it play out. Go to the game tonight, in-game live, next right here on SportsGrid.